Hello everybody, welcome to Jets Fan TV, your place for all Jets fans to hang out and talk all things Newcastle Jets. Starting off with today, I wanted to talk about the best 11 of this decade, so from 2020 to 2025, who's been the best players in each position. Wanted to go over that, so let's get into it. So this is my lineup over here. I'm going to talk over all my decisions. Let me know what your 11 is and whether you disagree or agree with my lineup. I'm sure there's going to be a few disagreements, but let's start off with goalkeeper Ryan Scott. Now this for me was a no-brainer. As soon as I was thinking about goalkeeper, it's the only keeper I could think of. Now I did some research looking at all the players in each squad, and yeah, Ryan Scott, who got a lot of criticism, which I thought was a bit unfair, to me is the best keeper we've had. When Duncan returned, he was nowhere near good enough. It was good before he returned, but when he returned, he was not good enough. It was not a good time for Duncan. I actually can't remember the other keeper we had before him, but for me, Scott was definitely the best keeper we've had over the last 5 years. And I think he got a lot of unfair criticism. Look, that's just my opinion. I think last season he was really good. Saved us a lot of times. I was a little bit disappointed when he got let go, when we didn't re-sign him. I thought we would re-sign him. But, hey, we got Delinov. I actually wasn't too keen on the signing. But to be fair, he started really well at the Jets. So, I have to see how that works out. Moving on to left back, I got Lucas Moragas. Now this to me was also another pretty simple decision. When I look at left backs that have played for Jets in the last 5 years, he's got 47 appearances. He's even got 4 goals, which is a decent amount as a fullback. And I think he's very good for the Jets. And I was very disappointed when he went to the Mariners. But I think at the Jets he was a very good player. One of my favourite players, and one of those academy players come and do. And I really did enjoy watching him. So for me, he's a left back. Moving on to centre back. I feel like this is the weakest position for me. I feel like we just haven't had that many good centre backs in the last 5 years since Bogard and Topper left. I don't think we've had that many good centre backs. First one, I've got Yerman in there. He had 42 appearances for the Jets. Very senior, very experienced. I don't think his last season was very good, but overall his time, I think he was a decent player for the Jets. Very experienced. One of the most senior players in the squad at the time. I think he did good enough. I don't think he was nothing fantastic, but he was good. Same to say about Shushna. Now, I know it's very early. He's only had 16 appearances for the Jets. I don't know if that includes the Australia Cup games, but he's only had 16 appearances for the Jets. But I really have been enjoying watching him. I think he's been good at the back to we got a lot of young players at the back with Natalashi, Kankalashi, who were both struggling a lot. Max Cooper now who's come in during the Australia Cup. He's really experienced. And obviously we've got Chauncey coming in. I'm interested to see how he goes. But I think Shushna has been decent, and I just don't think we've had any other really good centre backs. Disagree with me if you want. Let me know down in the comments who else would you put there. Remember, this is just from 2020 to 2025. To me, to be honest, I probably could have put Bogard there, but he's only here for 1 season. Well, so Shushna, so I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I've put Shushna there. At right back, I've got Aquilina. Similar situation. I don't think we've had that many good right backs. Dane Ingham, I don't rate. Last season he was alright, but I've never really rated him. Overall, his time at Jets wasn't very good. And I just think Aquilino has been a good fullback for us. I think he gets a bit of hate for no reason. I think he's been good. I think he's solid defensively, somewhat solid defensively, and going forward is really good. So yeah, I think I'm not going to go on about him too much. He's had 52 appearances at Jets so far, the most out of any player I've read out. And I think he was a good player. Moving on to the midfield. Now this is, I feel like, the strongest we've been. Starting off with Thurgate with 116 appearances, 11 goals. To me, the greatest, one of the greatest players at this club. To me, a legend. At least since I've been watching, to me, he's a legend. You know, a big part in that 2017-18 season, and well, he wasn't a big part in that. Sorry, that he came in a bit after that, but to me, he's one of my favourite players that's ever played at the Jets since I started following him. By the way, I started following him in 2017-18 at the very start of that season. My first ever game was Jets versus Edgeworth. It was a friendly in Edgeworth because I live in that area, and that was my first ever game. And then we went to every single home game that season. You know, it turned out to be a really good season. Obviously, since then, it hasn't been so good, has it? But yeah, so Thurgate, been brilliant. One of my favourite players to play since I started following the Jets. Next to him, I've got Grozos with 94, which this really surprised me. He's got 94 appearances. I cannot believe how many appearances he's had for the Jets, I'll be honest. I didn't think he's had that many, but I think he's been really solid. You know, he's our captain, or has been our captain last season, and I think he's been really solid in the midfield. I don't think he's really nothing special, but I think he's just solid. Sort of one of the most experienced players in our team last season, and deserves the spot with 94 appearances, which I still cannot believe. Moving on to the 10, this was a no-brainer. I didn't even have to look at any other 10s. Daniel Pena is my favourite player to ever play for the Jets. I know he's only here for a season, only had 23 appearances, and only got 4 goals. I thought he might have had a few more. But Daniel Pena is my favourite player to ever play for the Jets, since I started following them anyway, I should say. So, to me, he had to be in there. Look, someone else might have something different in there. But, for me, in the last 5 years, definitely. But over the whole... I liked Petrados, but Pena just had so much flair for me. Anyway, Pena's in there for me. Moving on to the front line, this is where it gets interesting. Left wing, I've got Clayton Taylor. 51 appearances, 14 goals, really good player coming to the academy I think he came from Sydney, didn't he? He didn't come to the academy. Came from Sydney, young player, and he's done really well. I hope he stays with the Jets. I know there was all these rumours a few months ago about him, wanting to leave and stuff. We'll have to see how that plays out. Nothing's really come out about it lately, so I don't know how that's going to go. But Taylor has been a great player. I've loved watching him over the last few years, and hopefully he can stay with the Jets and keep on going. Moving on to right wing, Bahaja. I'm going to put my hands up. I never really was a big fan of Trent Bahaja, but I was looking over all the other right wingers we've had over that time, and I just don't see anyone else that appeals to me. So, yeah, Bahaja makes it. To be fair, he got 10 goals and 48 appearances. Not a bad record. Yeah, I wasn't his biggest fan, but he did get a decent amount of goals. Now, moving on to striker. This is one that was a very tough decision for me at first. When I was first thinking about it, it had to be either Mikko Tadze or Stammer. I'm not going to say his full name, I can't get it. It had to be one of those two. I went, right, I'm going to look at the goals and see whoever's got the most will make it. I can't remember what Becker had, but I know I think he had like 16 goals in a lot more. I can't remember what the appearances were, but it was a lot more appearances compared to Stammer, who I've got in here. He got 17 goals in 25 appearances. Now, I know he didn't play for as long, but he got around the same amount of goals as Becker, maybe more, than in a much less shorter time. So, Stammer had to go in after I saw that. I liked Becker Mikotadze, and I liked Stammer. Both of them, to me, are really close. But seeing that really did surprise me. 17 goals in 25 appearances. Becker was good, but not that good. So Stammer makes it in, and that makes up the full 11. Let me know, what do you guys think? Should there be anyone else in there? Let me know your thoughts down below. And also, let me know your thoughts. Will we win the Australia Cup? Now, we should be getting... I know this says Thursday. It's actually Friday today. We were meant to be getting an announcement about the Australia Cup final, where it's going to be played today. Or by today. It's about 6 o'clock as I'm recording, and still nothing has come out, at least unless it's come out while I'm recording. So I don't know what's happening there. Hopefully it gets announced soon. And but yeah, let me know. Do you think we'll win the Australia Cup? Do you think we'll get a home final? Hopefully we do. I know there's going to be a lot of fans that aren't happy about that outside of Newcastle, but I don't care. Have our McDonald-Jones. Come on. Up the Jets. And till the next video, I'm out. Peace.